Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of John's never-ending list of random things to do. And for today's video, we're going to be installing CT Sound's 6.5-inch two-way component speakers on the front door of this 2019 Honda Civic Hatchback Sport. These are the materials that we're going to be using for this installation. These two trim we're going to be installing as well. They did not come with the Sport version, but everything will be linked in the description below. We're going to be starting here at the passenger door, here at the corner. Just press it up, give it enough pressure, and it'll just pop up. There you go. But for instance, if you can't do that, right along here, along this seam, use this tool. Go ahead and wedge it in there, and then pry it. Alright. And then remove this trim. Now remove this harness. Simply press in this pin and then wiggle it out. Next, you want to remove this Phillips screw right here. Now you can remove your door panel. Place your finger right in between here and then pry it really hard. Careful to not break anything. Now work your way around the door panel. At this point, put your hand right in the middle of the panel and then press it forward. Careful, you might drop it. This is the trim that comes with the Sport version, so we're going to be replacing it. Simply just pull it towards you. Give it a good tug. Now here, look on the back side. That's where the two pins are. Now remove this one screw holding the speaker. And then pry out the speaker. Once you've pried it out, pull it up. And then remove the speaker wires. Simply press in the two sides like so, and then wiggle it out. Alright. Now I'm going to apply this second skin deadener. But you know what? How am I going to fit my hand through this small hole at the left? Well, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to peel this off right here. Remove this clip at the far right. Go ahead and just keep on peeling it. Hold the harness through the hole. And then using tape, I'm just going to tape this piece at the top so it doesn't keep falling down. Remove this clip here as well. Press in the two tabs, top and the bottom, and then just press it through. Good. Now we can move this aside somewhere. Using a microfiber towel and some alcohol, I'm just going to wipe everything down in here.
Surface.
With the surface clean, apply the sound deadener. Using a rolling tool, you want to apply the deadener as flat as possible. Take your time on this. Let's have a look at what I've done. This is a perfect example of what it should not look like. Again, this was my first time, and this was the practice door. You'll see the improvement on the rear door. I'm going to add some deadener on this area too. I have to remove this clip right here. Simply press in the two tabs, and then press it forward. With no obstructions in the way, apply the sound deadener. And then use your rolling tool to apply it evenly across the surface. Don't forget to trim off any excess material. and then smoothing out the edges. Alright, everything's looking good. Now I can cut open the hole and then remove the excess material. It is important to cut out these holes as well. Let's test fit the retainer up on top. Alright, great, it works. And let's test fit the speaker trim. Great, it fits. But before I mount the speaker trim, I'm gonna put everything back together. Reinsert this clip right here, and then pull down this plastic piece. Don't forget to reinsert this harness through the hole, and then apply pressure across the adhesive. Reinsert this clip right here. Going back to our speaker trim, I have a foam baffle, and it's going to fit in the trim like this. Alright, it fits. Now I'm going to use a razor blade and trim all along here and all along here. And this is how it looks like. Great, we're almost ready to install it. Before installing the speaker trims, I'm going to have to trim these areas right here. If you are using shallow speakers, it's not necessary to trim this, but since my woofers are a bit bulky, I have to trim this, otherwise they won't fit. Test fitting the speaker trim one more time. If you look inside the speaker trim, you'll see some corners that I actually didn't cut off. You actually want to cut all of these off, and then wherever you made the cuts, apply some paint so it doesn't rust. Now you can finally mount your speaker trim. This corner was bugging me, so I trimmed it off. And then I smoothen out the edges. Insert the foam baffle, like so, but don't press it through all the way, and then fix it around the edges. I just want to note, you need to cut half of the baffle out, so underneath where you see the I and the B, and anything below that, you want to cut a hole right in the back there. Now we can finally run some speaker wires. First, you're going to remove this trim right here. Fit your fingers in there and then pull it. Good. Simply remove your weather strip by just pulling it out. Remove the kick panel right here as well. I just want to note that I'm removing this 12mm bolt because my hands are a little big and I'm working in a tight space. You'll see. Also make sure that when you remove this, no one is playing with your door, otherwise you're going to scratch this area up pretty good. This is the view from the kick panel. You see this hole here? We're going to fit the wire right through here. It's going to come down this rubber boot here, and then into the door. First we're going to remove the grommet right here. Simply just peel it off. This is a method that you can use. All you have to do is fix the boot as straight as possible. I'm going to be removing my glove box. Simply open it and press the two sides. It'll just drop down. Good. You don't have to do this, but some people like me like to see what we're doing when we're installing things. Look at that. The access hole is just right here. A method of feeding your wire through this hole is to attach it to a pen or a pencil and then try to feed it through as far as you can. If you get lucky, you can get it through all the way. If not, you're going to have to struggle like so. Now I have to admit, the struggle was real, but eventually it went through. Look at that. And now that the hardest part is done, just pull as much wire as you need through and then fit it through the door. And then don't forget to reinsert your grommet. I just want to note this is the speaker wire coming straight from the amplifier. I'm making it really long because I'm planning to install my passive crossover somewhere on my door. Maybe like right here somewhere. That's a good length. Before doing anything else, I should put this bolt back on. Most of the work on the door is done, so now let's pass the wire to the back. I'm planning to run the wire underneath the carpet, so look at these three tabs. You can pull off the carpet here, here, and right here. Good. Now they're all removed. We can run the cable through here. Now there is a cable tray, but I didn't run it through there, and I'm just going to run it back. But now this trim has to be removed as well. Pull up the weather strip some more. Then feed your wire through the carpet like so. And now let's go to the back. You want to remove this trim right here. Just grab it and then pull. Peel off your weather strip. Remove your seatbelt bolt right here. Fit your fingers under this trim, about this area, and then pull. Great. About midway on the trim, grab and pull. Now I can feed the wire through all the way to the back. There are two methods you can do this, maybe more, but I'm just going to try to shove this wire through here and grab it through the back. And look at that, I got it. Now that you've learned the long way, we're going to do the short way. Simply just put the cable through here and then fit it through this crack. Look how easy that was. This cable will be from my passive crossover to my woofer. Cut it down to the length that you need. This wire here will be for the passive crossover to the tweeters. Again, cut it down to the length that you need. Make the proper connections to your woofer. These woofer came with push terminals, so it's just a simple insert. And then mount the woofer to the speaker bracket. Here is my passive crossover. I had originally planned to install it on the plastic panel of the door, but look, there's a pocket right here. Well, I'm just going to insert it in here and see if it works. Now when doing this, make sure it's not hitting anything metal on the back side, otherwise when you shut the door, you're going to hear it go clink, clink. I just want to say, this is probably one of the worst locations you want to choose. You usually want to install it anywhere where it's not moving, let's say underneath your glove box, somewhere in there. But you know what, I'm gonna do this anyway. Alright, everything's looking good so far, but we're just missing one more piece, the tweeters. Okay, so now let's get started on that. So we're gonna start off with the speaker trim here. Notice how it doesn't fit. We're gonna have to make some modifications here. Using a flush cutter, I'm going to remove all the excess material that I do not need. You should have the three most important tabs here. Now you're going to have to trim these little pieces behind them. Make sure you don't break them. And now let's do some test fitting. Alright, so it slides all the way up, and that looks good. So we have our tweeter trim here on the door trim, and we're going to have to glue this tweeter onto that tweeter trim. So I applied clear silicone and put it on the trim. And this is the end product, right here. Look at that. Now I just want to say, do not use hot glue, it'll melt right off. You can use other glues such as epoxy, Gorilla Glue, anything that you like, or you can make your own bracket. Now you can install your trim. Make the appropriate connections. Oh wait, these are the wrong ends. Well, I just had to make my own. You'll see. And there it goes. At the top left, I made my own connections. That puts the final touch to this installation. And now reinstall your door panel. If the front door speakers are all that you're working on, go ahead and reinstall all the other panels. I'm going to be installing the rear door speakers as well, so I left all the panels off. And that wraps it up for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, maybe even consider subscribing. And I will see you guys for the next installation.